100 players who shook the clock.
Phil Taylor had a fantastic career with Liverpool, stretching back to I think it was about 1936 when he joined from Bristol. And initially he played alongside Matt Busby in the defensive line, which was quite a good one actually, pretty good, although they never actually got any success. It was a good side, particularly by 1939, the 39-40 season. It looked like, you know, Taylor in the back with Busby and all the other players really going to go somewhere. But then of course war broke out and that was the end of that season after 3 games. But after the war, that's when things got interesting for him, because he was part of the side in 46-47 who won the First Division Championship. Brilliant side with the likes of Billy Liddell and Albert Stubbins and such like in it. And he was a really important player.
Phil Taylor was an integral part of the 46-47 Championship team. A very cultured wing half or inside right, England player. Bob Paisley spoke very highly of Phil Taylor. The half-back line was Taylor, Jones and Hughes, or Taylor, Jones and Paisley. Those 4 of them used to play in the sort of engine room of the team. He also, Phil Taylor could pop up with some vital goals as well. He was clearly a player with a great brain.
Sort of his leadership abilities were recognised, and he later became captain of the club, leading us out in 1950 against Arsenal in the FA Cup final. Unfortunately that game was lost 1-0, but you know, he did a decent job though, and that really was all he actually won as a player, was the 46-47 Championship and the runners-up medal. Worse still in some ways for him. He played all through the season. We got relegated and then retired from football and became part of the coaching staff, but again continued to impress people with his leadership skills and everything, so much so that he actually took over as the Liverpool manager, I think in 56 off the top of my head.
And later, of course, joined the coaching staff and became manager, the last manager before Shankly.
He did the best he could to get us back into the First Division. He really tried hard. And, I mean, perhaps a bit typical, really, of the players of the time. He was a real gentleman. I mean, he gave everything he could, but he just couldn't get us back up into the First Division.
I doubt if Phil was ruthless enough to be a successful manager. When people have talked about Phil Taylor, they use the word elegant, and I think that perhaps will sum him up.
So he handed his resignation in November 1959, and we don't have the actual letter, but we know the contents of the letter and the way it was written. He basically said, I did everything I could, I gave my heart, my body and my soul to trying to do it. I just can't do it, and I think it's only fair that I step down and let someone better than me take over. And anyone who knows their history knows that he was taken over by Bill Shankly as manager. So I think all round, he did us all a favour, if you like.
And he still goes to games. You still see him at games now.
I don't know whether he's been to every game, but he must have been to as many games as probably anybody around, I would think, you know, between playing and managing and watching. So all full respect to Phil Taylor, definitely one of our great players of all time.